way to beat the traffic as nearly 200,000 fans jam into this speedway for the Samsung Radio Shack 500 NASCAR Winston Cup race. 7 years ago, this beautiful showplace of the sport was erected, and today nearly 200,000 fans will be here to see the Winston Cup cars compete. Everything bigger in Texas, and it's big for this young man, Texas native Bobby Labonte, who will start from the pole. And bigger are pre-race ceremonies today.
And now for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome Pro Football Hall of Famer Howie Long.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
43 drivers and their teams at the ready to go 500 miles. When we say everything's bigger in Texas, that includes the speeds. Here's the way they'll line up today for the Samsung Radio Shack 500. Labonte with Elliott Sadler, outside pole for the second straight year in this race, a Chevy and a Ford on the front row. Flying Ryan Newman with Jimmy Johnson. The engine change will put Johnson to the back before they drop the green flag. There's Jerry Nadeau in row 3 with former Cup champ Bill Elliott. Jeff Gordon with Kevin Harvick. Best of the RCR cars starting there in 8th. Joe Nemechek, yesterday's winner with the 89 Cup champ Rusty Wallace. And there's the inaugural Texas winner Terry Labonte in row 6 with Dale Jr.
You got to be fast. You got to last.
Saw Elliott Sadler on the front row there in that Ford. He was the only Ford that qualified in the top 15, Darrell. And actually, when I looked at practice yesterday, there was only about one Ford in that top 10 or 12 practice speeds.
I think they'll be up there in the race, Larry.
I would
all
say
the good race
so.
cars. Matt Kenseth, Dale Jarrett, even Mark Martin. I think Mark will get going today. So I think we'll see the Fords represented well. That 99 car, it's about time for them to do a turnaround.
We have good side-by-side racing at Las Vegas and at Atlanta. What about here in Texas today?
It's going to be a little treacherous. So you get up on that outside right now, you can look at the racetrack, you can see up where those, see where the cars are up on the high side. There's no rubber up there, there's no grip up there, it's dirty, it's sandy. You get up there, more than likely you're going to back it up in the fence.
Where we did see a lot of passing yesterday in the Busch race on the outside was just off of restarts, the first lap or two.
You got to get them while they're grouped up, get them in bunches, get everybody fighting for that bottom. That's what everybody tries to do, get to the inside. You get them kind of slowing down, and maybe you can zap a couple of them before you get around them.
2 cars failed to make the race, and here are those that'll move to the back, and why.
Yeah, Sterling Marlin, Jimmy Johnson, and Todd Bodine all changed engines. And then we talked about Kyle Petty in the wreck from Bristol last week, 2 cracked ribs. Christian Fittipaldi will start the race for him. Christian did practice the car both practice sessions yesterday. And I'm going to tell you what, Darrell, I watched practice. Sterling Marlin, Jimmy Johnson, Todd Bodine, they were pretty fast in practice.
They got their work cut out for them to come from the back of the field here because, like we said, it's very, very difficult to pass, and you got to dodge a few bullets here early on.
DW, we're going to be driving off in these corners at almost 200 miles an hour. Please reach up there and pull them belts one more time.
Ready to go, big guy. The gauges are looking good. Coming to get the green.
Boogity, 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 boys. Let's go racing today.
These guys will be fighting for that bottom groove as they get to turn 1. Look like Elliott Sadler's going to win the race down into turn 1.
Yeah, Bobby Labonte did not get a very good start.
Harvick had a great start, but nowhere to go, unless he wanted to make it 3 wide in turn 1, which wouldn't work.
Well, we've had problems here on the early laps. We first came here, we didn't even make a lap here for the first couple of races, so we got to be careful.
3 abreast mid-pack.
That'll work all right. You might be able to pull that off right now because you're not up to full speed yet. But once you get up to full speed, I wouldn't try that. And you can see already how quickly everybody's just trying to get in line.
Joe Nemechek, a 25 car, he's hung on the outside off turn 2. He lost about 3 positions. There's just no grip up there.
Jeff Gordon to the inside of Ryan Newman. That's 7th place changing hands as they continue to cut and thrust in the middle of this field.
What happens, Mike, you just go in the corner a little hard, the car pushes up, opens up the bottom, and everybody freight trains by you.
You know, Darrell, as they get into these runs, you pick up the throttle. In some cases on fresh tires, you don't even completely come all the way out of the throttle. You're carrying so much speed on the exit of the corner, if the car won't turn, the only way you can make it turn is roll out of the throttle, late exit of the corner.
Yeah, it's a momentum racetrack, Larry. I mean, once you get the thing wound up, you just try to stay in the throttle as much as you possibly can.
Johnny Benson past Nemechek. Now Robbie Gordon to the inside. Battle for the lead. Bill Elliott wants it from Elliott Sadler. Takes it.
Well, that's a big move on Bill's part. You know, Bill qualified well, and gee, he just jumped up there and took the lead. That's pretty impressive.
Bill Elliott is actually the track record holder here. That Bobby Labonte didn't quite break that track record on Friday.
Well, you know, we got here, there was some talk about the track had lost a lot of grip, but, buddy, I haven't seen it. I didn't see it in qualifying. I sure didn't see it in the race yesterday. Oh, Gordo's got him a pretty good run going here, too. He's trying to get around Ryan Newman, but Ryan Newman's not the kind of guy that lets you go.
It's a battle for 6th.
Ryan Newman races you every lap like it's the last one. Nothing wrong with that, by the way.
No.
But, you know, it'd be good to get to the last one.
From Nadeau looking back at Newman and Gordon. Nadeau in 5th. About 2 seconds behind the leader.
We got the Fox tracks on Dave Blaney, the 77 car. There you see is about 11 seconds behind the leader. He couldn't get to the bottom of the racetrack. Maybe he'll fall in behind Sterling Marlin right there. Remember, Sterling in the 40 car started at the rear of the field because of the engine change. Here's that battle for 6 right there. Jeff Gordon in the 24 goes by Ryan Newman in the 12.
Dave Blaney's actually picked up 5 spots since the start of this race and then gave 2 back. Bill Elliott's opened up a second on Elliott Sadler, and Kevin Harvick, who was very quick off the mark when they dropped the green flag, has now settled into 3rd.
Bill likes it out front. He likes the clean air. He likes the view he's got right now.
Now, as Dave Blaney lost those 2 spots we told you, see if there was anything between he and John Andretti here.
That's just that's a classic a way to pass here. You get that nose up under that guy, get your nose up under his back bumper. He starts to push up off the turn and actually gets him a little loose, and he's got to get out of the throttle. You go right back.
Steve Burns?
And Mike, I talked to Booty Barker this morning, the crew chief for Dave Blaney, and he said we were terrible when we first got here. I've changed everything this morning. Caster, camber, truck arms, nose weight, shock, springs. He said we may be terrible. We'll know in about 10 laps once this race starts.
Well, I'm going to tell you a guy that started up in 9th, won the Busch race yesterday, Joe Nemechek. He's not been able to get his car to the bottom. He's running to the bottom here. He's all the way back to 25th. Dick, something's going on with that group.
Yeah, he just can't get the nose of that car to behave itself. He's put on the radio and thinks maybe it's an aero problem. They're really not sure exactly what it is, Larry, but it's the front end.
I just have to believe, Darrell, we talked in Oakland. I mean, this track, I think, is different from yesterday when it practiced because the Busch race has been run on it, plus the track temperature is way up.
A number of things you can do. Plant that nose. You can pull that fender out a little bit and get a little bit more downforce on that nose. And if you got any tape that you're not taped up solid or anything like that, you might put a piece of tape on the nose and get that nose sticking, and you might change that car a lot.
Mark Martin goes past Nemechek for 26th. Now running in tandem with his Roush teammate, last week's winner, Kurt Busch.
On these high-speed tracks like this, Mike, Larry, you know, aerodynamics is so critical. And a little tweak on a front fender or a little tweak on the car will make a huge, huge difference.
Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway, where Bill Elliott was first off pit road ahead of Sadler, Gordon, Wallace, and Newman. Now you'll see Steve Park spin in this replay and watch oncoming Sterling Marlin. Mark Martin.
Bam.
Yeah.
Right there.
That wall pretty good bit.
Looks like he's bent that right front fender in a good bit.
Let's look at the pit stop summary right here. Guys coming to pit road. Of course, Bill Elliott coming in first, going out first. Our pit road, that's including the pit stop. But look at Rusty Wallace in that group right there. Went from 7th to 4th. They got the job done on pit road.
Again, Jimmy Spencer trying to get back on the lead lap.
Green.
Elliott gets the gear, but here comes... Oh, smoke from Elliott. He's blown it up, maybe.
She blew. Yep. Yeah, he's in trouble big time.
Could be one of two things. He could have missed a shift.
Darrell, that's coming out the exhaust pipe out the right side. The caution is out.
And Jimmy Spencer is going to come around and get back on the lead lap. As we have caution at lap 47 for Bill Elliott.
Again, I want to reiterate. You spin the tires here so many times on the restart. When you spin the tires, when you go to shift gears, sometimes you'll miss the shift. I'm not saying Bill did that. We'll find out when we talk to him. But I've had that happen a number of times and seen it happen a number of times.
Caution is out in Texas for the 4th time today. There's debris on the racetrack, and Greg Biffle seems to have something blowing in the wind.
Now, there's a saying in racing that you blew his doors off. They blew his whole side off. There's a piece of, see that metal hanging down there? That's a piece of interior there. That's one of the crush panels.
It seals it off to the firewall. Now it's not there anymore. That, I would say that's the debris.
Yep.
And we're seeing all our leaders come to pit road. We have 19 cars on the lead lap. That was a big break for Joe Nemechek. Jeff Green got their lap back. Dale Jarrett, Jamie McMurray, and Johnny Benson was about to go a lap down. All the leaders in for 4 tires and adjustments. Jeannie.
Well, Matt Kenseth saying this car is just a little bit too tight. They got to free this thing up. Last pit stop, they took one piece tape off the grill. They're trying to figure out how long that tape was because they got to get it back on there. 4 tires and 3/4 wedge out of left rear. Steve?
They're going to free Elliott Sadler up just a little bit. 4 tires, Matt Yoakum.
And service almost complete on Jeff Gordon's car. It's going to be a race off pit road. He's not going to win it.
That group that time in, time again, race in, race out, Matt Kenseth, that 17 group, they go from 3rd to 1st on that pit stop. They continue to prove why they're 2-time world champions.
And Dale Jr. lost some spots on that pit exchange, and it's a long stop also for Johnny Benson as they have to retighten some right side lug nuts before he comes out. Meanwhile, in Greg Biffle's pit, they are trying to get that side panel nailed down. And they send him out around, may bring him back in for further repair.
I want you to cut that bear bond. Come over here, hurry up, hurry up.
Look like the fans want us to do a little something here. How about it? Let's crank it up.
Green flag, come on.
Roush Racing teammate Jeff Burton is right behind him trying to get back on the lead lap.
And Ricky Rudd in the 21, he's 2 laps down right behind Jeff Burton. Again, has that Roush power plant in it as well.
Then second place car of Jeff Gordon. Here comes Burton, who won the inaugural Winston Cup race here in 1997. Two more teammates in traffic, 9th and 10th. The green car of Bobby Labonte, number 18, and Tony Stewart. Dick Berggren.
Well, Tony Stewart picked up 7 spots on that round of pit stops. I should say his crew picked it up for him. They took 4 tires, made a minor chassis adjustment. Steve?
Dick, to follow up on Bobby Labonte again, he's been complaining about the car being down on power. They thought they have a cracked tailpipe, but also crew chief Michael Fatback McSwain said the car is tight, and the tightness of the car is binding up the motor. If we can get the car freed up, the motor will run better. Just hang in there. We're only halfway. Jeannie's Alaska.
Well, DW spoke earlier about drivers happy with their car, just focusing on racing, and that pretty much describes Mark Martin today. 2 stops ago, no adjustments, just the 4 tires. He's starting to get a little bit tight. So on the menu this last stop, a round of bite at 4 tires. Matt?
Jeannie, Jeff Gordon fighting a balance problem. They were talking about putting a round in the right rear to get the spoiler up in the air to have him out. Instead, they decided to just have Caleb Hurd, the catch cam man, bump up the rear spoiler a little. He runs in second. His teammate Jimmy Johnson on the move. He was tight before. A 4-tire change with both air and wedge adjustment. They also pulled out the left front fender as they're going side by side. He's trying for a second back-to-back top 10 this year. Meanwhile, as the 38 drops back to 12 on the inside, Ryan Newman fighting an aero-tight problem today. No changes at his last stop, just 4 tires.
Well, Elliott Sadler in that 38 car, he has lost about 3 positions just in the last couple of laps here, Darrell. His car was good on fresh tires a while ago.
Yeah, I think what happened, he got up out of the groove a little bit, and I think it kind of took his breath away, and he's regrouping here right now. I think you'll see him come back.
We're halfway. Here in Texas, only 2 cars in the garage. Bill Elliott, who lost an engine at lap 47, and Tony Raines is pulled in just a few laps ago.
When a car is so as consistent as his has been, and all of a sudden driving the corner and it takes off a little bit with you, it makes you think for a moment.
Whoa, Elliott Sadler's in trouble on the backstretch.
Yeah, I think something was wrong. I think he was having a problem of some kind because
hard hit. Caution is out. I didn't mean to scare you, Darrell, but I saw the red car run up behind him. Jeff Burton gets his lap back.
And something's wrong with our leader, maybe. Matt Kenseth slowed so much that Jeff Gordon blew right past him on the run to the caution.
I think he was trying to let the 21 and the 97 get a lap
Exactly.
And Gordon didn't go for it.
And we'll see it here. It's Jeremy Mayfield, the 19 car.
Oh, he just gets out. The car just, apparently on that set of tires there was just something that changed the car dramatically over what it had been earlier.
Elliott's climbed out of the car, and he is okay after leading 91 laps today and ending up at the inside wall hard.
That is a hard lick. I mean, you're running so fast everywhere on this racetrack.
Steve?
Mike, Elliott Sadler never said a word before that incident, but I can tell you something a little bit unusual. Bill Elliott may be gone, but his tires and wheels are on that 38 car of Elliott Sadler. They put a set of scuff tires on, and I don't know if that contributed to the problem, but he did crash hard into that retaining wall.
And a crash on pit road. As it came in, Ward Burton got turned around.
He and Joe Nemechek got together somewhere or another.
Dale Jarrett may also have been involved. Not all cars came in. Johnny Benson is in. Earnhardt Jr., McMurray, Green, Bobby Labonte, Nadeau, Jarrett, Foyt. And let's show you what happened on pit road. Well, we've seen this before this season. A driver with Kurt Busch at Las Vegas.
The reason Ward Burton was coming across like that, he's in the second pit from the entrance of pit road. He was just trying to get into his pit box.
Yeah, they're down here taping up the nose on the 88 now because he got quite a bit of damage.
It looked a lot like Busch's incident at Las Vegas when a driver's pitted up to turn 4 into pit road and makes a late move in. There's apt to be somebody there.
It's almost like Ward Burton didn't decide to pit for the last minute. Then when he got on pit road, he was all the way to the outside and had to get into his pit box and causes the problem. We need to document that Ricky Rudd and Kurt Busch did not get their lap back. Ricky Rudd trying to get 1 of 2 laps back.
Elliott Sadler crashes hard, bringing out the 5th caution of the day. two drivers that got a lap back on the last caution. Kurt Busch just lost that lap to race leader Matt Kenseth a bit ago, as Jeff Gordon draws a bead on the race leader. Just about a quarter second between them at 180 some miles an hour.
And the slowest part of the racetrack, 160 miles an hour right in the middle of the corner. But, you know, just real quickly talking about Dale Jarrett, the irony of his performance here today, they came here and tested. It looks like his teammate Elliott Sadler benefited from that test and was destined to win this race. I go back to Rockingham when Dale Jarrett won that race. Elliott Sadler, we have a crash. Almost a crash. But they should have wrecked. It was all but a crash.
Bobby Labonte smoking from the right side. And Jeff Gordon took the lead. Now there is Jeff Burton just ahead, the other driver who just got a lap back on the last caution.
Yeah, I was watching the 18 and the 2 there, Labonte and Wallace, and the 18 was trying to get by him every way he could, been putting that nose right up under him. I believe they may have made some contact. There it is, right there. Rusty.
Wow.
Whoa.
That'd like to have been big right there.
Mark Martin's on pit road.
This is part of our regular green flag stops. Mark Martin in the 6th. He's the first to come to pit road. And Bobby Labonte definitely looks like he's going to probably have a tire possibly rubbing.
But good time.
Good timing. He'll be making green flag stops. Jeannie.
And of course, Mark Martin talking about the car being a little bit tight. They are making air pressure adjustments. So the plan right now was to give him 4 tires and fuel and a track bar adjustment as well.
Jeff Gordon is the new leader over Matt Kenseth, and he has put Jeff Burton 1 lap down. Here comes Bobby Labonte to pit road with damage from the right front.
And they certainly want to get that thing full of fuel, 4 tires on it, but the biggest thing will be making sure that fender or quarter panel is not rubbed.
Yeah, I don't think he has a lot of damage there, Larry, because they just bumped, you know.
And the leader is in. Here's Steve.
And this stop comes earlier than he wanted to pit. They want to check that damage to the right front. Also, Rusty Wallace is concerned about his race car. They'll make a wedge adjustment while they're here on the 18. Let's go to Yoko.
Leader Jeff Gordon pits on lap 223, scheduled stop. They're going to pull a tearaway off. Jay Lupo pulls it off. Both sides, the left and right side of the windshield, already going to work on the left side of the car. No adjustments for Gordon. Gordon, please, with the service, 13.4 seconds to Jeannie's Alaska.
Nice and smooth, nice and smooth. That is what Robbie Reiser is telling his pit crews. The 17 car, Matt Kenseth, comes in. Matt complaining that the car was getting a little bit tight, so they're going to half turn. Back in, he will get 4 tires and fuel.
And again, a little bit of damage to the left rear quarter panel of Rusty Wallace's car. They're going to put a pound of air in the right rear tire. Matt Yoakum with the 48 car.
Steve, a chassis adjustment already on the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. A little bit slow on the left front. Service complete. The car was a little bit tight. The 2 car out as well.
Ryan Newman picks up the lead for the 2nd time today as Jimmy Spencer pounds the wall. He and Tony Stewart got together, and Terry Labonte comes through. Ricky Rudd, Sterling Marlin, all trying to avoid as the leaders will come around to the caution flag.
Now, Ryan Newman was the leader of the race because he had not pitted. Ryan Newman had not pitted. Jamie McMurray, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Green, Johnny Benson, Jerry Nadeau, Ward Burton. A lot of these cars had not been to pit road.
This will shake things up.
Yes, it will.
And that was Jeremy Mayfield just hitting the wall in turn 1 as he tried to get around Jimmy Spencer's stopped car here in the quad oval. 6th caution coming out at lap 226. Tony Stewart and Jimmy Spencer getting together in the front straightaway.
Now the person this really hurts right here, and we're going to see the replay right here.
Jimmy's pushing. You see Jimmy's car is pushing up. Gets a little bobble to it.
Gets into Tony Stewart just a little bit.
Gets in the side of Tony. So just in the last 2 laps, Tony and Bobby Labonte both have had some body damage.
Well, I was just fixing to mention the car this really hurts is Bobby Labonte, because remember, we talked about he could run further than a lot of these guys, but he had to come to pit road because of that damage.
Yeah, and they had to pound that fender out pretty good. And here's Sterling, just barely missing the 21.
Yeah, Terry Labonte spun through it.
Here he comes. He's already out in the grass just trying to get on by.
Just trying to hang on.
Now that may mess up the front air dam right there. That's a big bump.
I'd say it did.
Now here comes the leaders to pit road that had not pitted. Ryan Newman in the 12, Jamie McMurray, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Green, Johnny Benson, Jerry Nadeau, and Ward Burton. These guys were scheduled to make green flag stops, but the caution came out. Dale Jarrett as well.
Matt?
And Ryan Newman was just scheduled to hit pit road. They waved him off when the 7 spun on the front stretch. They've got the wrench. They're going to put it in the back window. They are going to make a chassis adjustment for Newman.
3 to go.
To Steve.
Matt, left side tires coming off the 30. Jeff Green saying that the car is just a little bit too tight. They do have a little damage on the left front as well. They pulled that out. Earnhardt Jr. out as well.
Timing is everything. 9 cars that had not been to pit road are suddenly the only cars on the lead lap. So this could be the tensest moment of the day right here when they drop the green flag for this restart.
Yeah, Bobby Labonte on the inside in the 18 car. He's on the verge of being 2 laps down because of his problems. There you see the Fox tracks getting up to speed at the start-finish line, 100 miles an hour, going through the gearbox. And they'll probably run wide open through 1 and 2 this time without lifting because they're not up to speed. 155 miles an hour in the middle of the corner coming up to speed off turn 2.
Bobby Labonte kind of holding that line back. He has not really come to speed.
No, he hadn't, and that surprised me. I thought he'd be up there really trying hard to get that, get back on the lead lap. I'm not so sure he maybe was trying to help his old teammate there a little bit by giving him room to get down in front of him over there off the 2.
And a big log jam developed behind Bobby Labonte where there's still 2 abreast.
Jeff Gordon and Matt Kenseth, if their car is even close to what it's been, Darrell, they should not have a problem staying out front. But the problem is if we don't get a caution for them to catch back up. And everybody should have to make one more stop to get to the end of this race.
Well, this is their best opportunity for a caution when you get everybody bunched up like this. Get somebody out of shape. You can just run into somebody as we've seen and knock a piece of metal off, get a caution for debris.
Now here's Mark Martin trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap, and Ryan Newman trying to overhaul him as positions swap midfield yet again. They move underneath Kenny Schrader, and that gives Mark Martin a little bit of breathing room on the number 12, Ryan Newman, your leader.
There they go, spin off a 2.
And
Steve
it's a big
Park,
one.
Mike
number
Skinner.
1.
Mike Skinner, Steve Park. Jeff Gordon, get his lap back. Matt Kenseth, Jeff Burton will get 1 back. Jimmy Johnson, Kurt Busch, Tony Stewart, Todd Bodine. Bobby Labonte gets 1 of his laps back.
And Rusty Wallace among those who were ahead of the leader coming to the caution flag. It happens at lap 235. Cautions breed cautions. And here we
Especially
are
when
again.
cars are trying to get laps back and the leader's way back in the pack.
Track's pretty predictable, guys. I mean, we normally have about 9 or 10 cautions here, and most of them come late in the race.
Steve Park and Mike Skinner appear to have gotten the worst of it.
Coming off turn 2 right here, onto the back stretch.
Get down under somebody, and we've seen it time and time again. It pulls that inside car around. Skinner was trying to squeeze through a Park in the wall there, and he didn't quite make it.
Looked like Ward Burton got some front end damage.
Looked like Dale Jarrett may have gotten a little bit of more damage, too.
John Andretti snuck through.
I believe Ward Burton got in the back of the 45 car, Christian Fittipaldi.
Jarrett got clipped on the right rear.
Sterling Marlin, his bad luck continues. Damage all the way down that right side of that car. Not the day he was looking for.
236 laps complete. The Samsung Radio Shack 500s.
And now we're ready to restart. Let's go back upstairs, rejoin Larry, Mike, and Darrell.
Ryan Newman remains the leader. Jamie McMurray in second. 2 Dodges at the front of this field. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Green, Johnny Benson, Jerry Nadeau, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Gordon, Matt Kenseth.
Boy, Newman wanted to cut down in front of Robbie Gordon, but he knew better.
16 cars back on the lead lap because when that caution came out, the cars in front of Ryan Newman got to cycle around and pick up the tail end of the field.
And you know now at this point in the race, the reason everybody gets aggressive the way they do is you can't let Ryan Newman or anybody up near the front get too far ahead of you, or you won't be able to catch them and have a chance to win. Tony Stewart got way up out of the groove over there off of turn 2. Man, he almost spun that bad boy out.
Okay, car right there, we just saw the nose of Mark Martin.
Oh, trouble, turn 3.
Christian Fittipaldi, Dale Jarrett, an 88 car.
Caution's out. Leader got it.
Nobody gets a lap back.
That is 3 caution flags in just 16 laps.
You get the cars bunched up like this, there's not a real good outside groove, and you get up in that loose stuff and around you go, and you got people pushing you, shoving you, trying to get laps back. I mean, a lot of different agendas here causes a lot of problems. Poor
Kyle
Dale
Petty qualified this car, Christian Fittipaldi named as the relief driver yesterday. Kyle was sore ribs from his Bristol crash. And Jarrett with a flat at least on the left side, trying to limp back to pit road.
I think Jarrett has been one of those days when he just, every time something happened, he was in the middle of it.
It was almost the same last week at Bristol.
And I'm sure he would tell you when you don't run up front, when you're back in the middle of the pack, that's what happens to you.
Here's a look.
Just get up out of the groove down there. It's hard to tell.
Fittipaldi was around and caught Jarrett, who was going by on the outside.
A lot of damage to that car. Huh? When you hit the wall here, I mean, you hit it a ton. It don't matter where you hit it.
You very seldom see them tow them in on a wrecker. They use a rollback. But that's what I'm telling you. Right now, everybody knows it's a lap down or wherever you are in this race. You gotta be aggressive right now. You gotta take advantage of these cautions if you're going to get back in the race.
Trying to straighten things out.
I think it's pretty amazing that Jarrett has been able to stay on the lead lap. He hadn't run all that well, but they're making a chassis adjustment there. Looked like they took a rubber out of the right rear spring that time, so maybe they'll get him dialed in here.
So we still have 16 cars on the lead lap, 244 complete, 90 laps to go in the Samsung Radio Shack 500. Green flag.
Need to note that Dale Jarrett, who is in for repairs more, he topped off along with Jeff Burton. Again, if you've got to put a can of fuel in there, changing right side tires is almost free because it takes 7 or 8 seconds to change those tires like it does to take that dump that one can of fuel.
Robbie Gordon will not get out in front of Ryan Newman to get back on the lead lap here.
It's a dilemma, Larry. I don't want to put myself in a box to where if a caution comes out, I'm sitting out there on worn out tires, but I'd almost like to just get me enough fuel to get me to the finish and don't mess with my tires.
Exactly.
But then you got to worry about what if a caution comes out, you're going to have to come back to pit road in to get tires.
Thing you have to be careful also, Darryl, you know this, sometimes you have to make a little chassis adjustment with 2 right side tires because that will actually automatically tighten the race car up, make it push a little more.
Bobby Labonte's around on the back, y'all. He just went around off of 2.
And in the wall. Caution at lap 251. In the last 25 laps, we've had 4 caution flags and nobody gets a lap back from Ryan Newman.
Kevin Harvick, the 29, was making a gallant effort. He just could not get there.
Boy, Bobby just come off of 2. He got high over there, and I think he got out in the loose stuff, picked up on his tires, and around he went.
9th caution flag of the day. And surprising that more cars weren't involved.
Yeah, that 29 car, Harvick, I'd watch him on this restart. He's got a good enough car. He might be able to get up in front of Ryan Newman and see if he can't get this lap back.
The guy that amazes me, Kurt Busch, we had just about counted him out of this race about 150, 175 laps ago. There he is in the top 10. Well, Ryan Newman is so good on those restarts, Darryl.
He doesn't want anybody racing him off into turn 1.
I don't look for him to give anybody a lap back.
No, he got a pretty nice jump.
Harvick got a really good run through the middle of 1 and 2. We'll see what it does down the backstretch.
Harvick had a good car. He was up in the top 5 there before that caution flag came out and caught a bunch of people a lap down. course, you're going to try extra hard right now because this is your only chance.
Jeff Gordon, 24, Matt Kenseth, 17, and here comes Kurt Busch and Jimmy Johnson. Meanwhile, at second place, Dale Earnhardt Jr. draws a bead on Jamie McMurray.
And other than John Andretti in the 43 car, this is all for position. Jeff Gordon, Jeff Green, Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch, Jimmy Johnson. This is pretty much from about 6th to about 10th. Terry Labonte in the 5 car, of course, for that green flag stop, he's at 1 lap down.
Junior makes the pass for second.
It's almost like as this race really goes on, Dale Earnhardt Jr., the 8 car, Darrell, he's getting better and better. Track's coming to him, and they're making the right adjustments on that car.
For more, here's Matt.
And Mike, he still wants more adjustments that he got on his last stop. Back at lap 227, they put a rubber in the right rear. He said he still needs to be more free, but he does like the way the car is going.
Oh, Kenseth slowed off turn 2, perhaps to avoid driving up into the wall off the corner.
Yeah, that track has really gotten slick over there, and the cars are really starting to push off over there and get snapping loose. Oh, somebody almost wrecked him.
Jerry's going to have a look in his mirror and find a fast closing Jeff Gordon. This is one of only 4 Winston Cup tracks on which Gordon has not won, and he's in the top 5 and closing.
We've seen time and time again today that over the long haul, on the long runs, Gordon's car gets better and better and better versus some of the other cars that seem to slow down at the end of a long run. But it may take his car too long to pick up the speed he needs to chase down this 12 car up here.
Darrell, Mike, I just believe this thing could come down to that last pit stops and strategy. One, we can't have any mistakes as we see teammates racing here. That's a battle for 10th, Mark Martin and Kurt Busch in the 97, Mark in the 6th. But, you know, if you're up there, Ryan Newman, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Hard wall in turn 3, guys.
Joe Nemechek, the 25 car, no caution just yet.
Oh, man, he come right down in
Caution is out, though. Caution is out. Forget my strategy.
I'm sorry, Larry.
He
come right down
that took the strategy out right there.
10th yellow of the day, lap 283. And there is no right side. No usable right side left.
Bring it. He can't stop.
Oh, he pounded that thing.
You all right, Joe? You all right?
And I think what we'll see here, especially with about 50 laps to go, we're going to see everybody come to pit road, probably take 4 tires, Darrell. This puts you where you can make it to the end of the race.
And nobody got a lap back from Ryan Newman on the run to the caution.
No, he was way too far ahead of anybody that could. But the 29 car was about the only one that could. Harvick.
There they come, 45 miles per hour.
Ryan's being pretty courteous to Dale Jr., giving him an outside deck.
Jerry Nadeau on his radio urged the crew to put just 2 tires on. Ryan Pemberton looked around at the various crew members and he kept seeing people with 4 fingers in the air. The crew decided by committee they're going to put 4 tires on Jerry Nadeau's car.
42 car Jamie McMurray, a little loose by himself, but tight in traffic. So crew chief Donnie Wingo said, we'll give you 4 new shoes with a half pound of air in that left rear. Matt?
2 tires for Ryan Newman, 1 can of fuel. They made a chassis adjustment. He was a tick tight. They needed to free him up just a little bit. Dale Earnhardt Jr., a little slug in the center off. A rubber in the right rear on the last stop. Just 4 tires, no changes on this stop.
I'll tell you what, despite taking 4 tires, Jerry Nadeau got out of there 4th. So that gamble seems to be a good one.
But I'm going to tell you, I watched pit road close. Of course, our guys and girls were all over the top of those pit stops. I only saw 1 car change 2 tires, and that was Ryan Newman. I don't know, Darrell. We'll have to see.
Well, he's fast. I mean, I think he may be lulling himself into thinking he's better than he is with those 2 tires.
So Newman comes out first. Because of just 2 tires, going to be a long wait for the next car.
Yeah, there's just no substitute for having fresh tires at the end of this race.
Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, Jerry Nadeau, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Green, Johnny Benson, Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, Kurt Busch, everybody else. A rocket man on restarts, every single one. He's gotten out ahead of Kevin Harvick, who has been giving it the good try to get back on the lead lap.
But I'll tell you, Dale Earnhardt Jr., look the run. He gets right there. Darrell, I think that's 2 tires versus 4 tires. We'll see what happens down in turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, I believe that. I guess honestly believe they'll be regretting that decision. I just don't think that was the way.
Look how loose he got him right there. I mean, you're right up to him, and now we got a battle for the lead in this crowd. Nobody's sitting down.
Go outside. Still there. Still there.
It's not giving in.
Still outside. Still there.
Now.
Clear.
And here comes Gordon. Up underneath Harvick to clear the lapped car.
Look at Jerry Nadeau in that Army car, the 01 car. He's battling Gordon for second, battling for third right now. Takes it away.
What a great move by Nadeau, but he can't hold the bottom. Gordon's going to have a look under him coming off 4. And Nadeau holds on with 3rd position.
Jeff let him slide in there. That's the old slide job.
Jimmy Johnson in that 48 car goes underneath Kevin Harvick. Remember, Jimmy Johnson started this race at the rear of the field with that motor change. He's up there in 5th spot.
I know Harvick's a lap down, but boy, he sure has been mighty courteous to these guys. He has not tried to hold anybody up. He just slid up in and let the 48 car go right by.
Right behind Harvick, his Childress teammate, Robbie Gordon. They are both 1 lap down, as is Michael Waltrip, Terry Labonte, Ricky Craven, John Andretti, Jeff Burton, Jack Sprague, Kenny Wallace, and Kenny Schrader.
Yeah, we're looking at Jeff Green right there in the 30 car. He's up there in the 6th position, and you heard Steve Burns talking earlier. These guys need a good finish because all 6 races finished 19th or worse. There goes Jeff Gordon back under Nadeau. It's almost did the same thing. The car moved up, but looked like Nadeau could not keep his car down, Darrell.
I think Nadeau knew that he put a slide job on Jeffy, and he wasn't going to mess with him. I owe you one, buddy.
He definitely looks like
he's got a problem.
We're hearing that the motor's not sounding like it's completely working like it should, or sounding like it should.
So 2 cars with Hendrick engines, Benson and Johnson, coming up short.
The last little bit of this 500-mile race, there's always a few guys that have trouble. Quite a few guys, as a matter of fact.
Of course, that would be the second engine.
There's Newman underneath. Boy, I thought he had him. He had such a run, and this is how you make the pass here. Get that nose right up under that back bumper.
Just there, just barely. You help him out there, Tony. Just looking. Side.
While these guys are side by side, Jeff Gordon in the 24 car, he'll be closing in on them.
Jeff Gordon's loving this. He says, hold him there, boys.
Newman clears him, and he'll get 10 laps to go this time.
We're coming into a lot of lap traffic. A lot of lap traffic. Whoa, he had to thread the needle between Jimmy Spencer and
nice
Larry.
Smoker going into 1.
All 3 cars had to.
Yeah, Jeff got the worst end of that deal, but still, they all 3 made it through there nicely. Everybody hold their line. That's what they tell you to do when you're being overtaken like that. Just hold your line.
And surprisingly, Gordon cannot gain ground.
No, you know, he got right there, and it's like he hit the wall. He just can't get any closer.
Mark Martin in the 6th just went by Jimmy Johnson for 5th. We're getting a report that definitely Jimmy Johnson is down a cylinder.
As is Johnny Benson. 9 to go. And Benson gets the black flag for the 2nd time, and that will likely end his day.
And I'm going to tell you, Darrell, Ryan Newman has checked out about 10 car lengths over Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Adios, boys. See you at the hacienda.
Matt Kenseth went past Jeff Green. That's 7th place. So it's Newman, Jr., Gordon, Nadeau, Martin. Mark Martin, the top 5. Jimmy Johnson.
23, he's 2 laps down. See if we can get the belt.
Johnson, Green, Kenseth, Busch, and McMurray, the top 10.
They go Rusty Wallace in the 2 car, Ryan Newman's teammate. He's going a lap down, so that means we now have 13 cars on the lead lap. You heard the spotter and Matt Boylan, Ryan Newman's crew chief, anticipating the cars they're going to be catching. We need some help as we come back around. There'll be 7 to go.
Yeah, he's talking about the 23 up here, Kenny Wallace and Brett Bodine, who are running side by side, but I think they're going to get sorted out before he gets there.
Past Brett Bodine. Kurt Busch and Jamie McMurray for 9th place.
Nice and smooth, bud. Nice and smooth.
And also Terry Labonte got past Michael Waltrip and closes on Robbie Gordon for 16th. All those cars a lap down.
You saw Jamie McMurray a second ago in the 42 car. Remember, he's trying to overcome a problem on the pit stop. Went back out about 16th or 17th. He's worked his way back to the top 10.
Kenny Wallace out ahead of race leader Ryan Newman with 6 to go.
He's done stretched out by a second and a half over second place Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car. And Jeff Gordon is all over the back of Dale Earnhardt Jr. doing it in the same way Ryan Newman did it down there in the middle of 3 and 4, Darrell.
Once you can't hold your car down off of the corner, then it makes it easier to get that nose underneath there and push you underneath and go.
But coming off 4, Gordon's car wouldn't stick. And Junior holds him off for second.
Jeff's trying to do that diamond thing like I was talking about. He tries to get up in the middle of the corner so he can get a little bit better run off the corner. Won't push so bad.
And he did get a good run off turn 2. It showed down the backstretch, and there you see he just drives right underneath Dale Earnhardt Jr.
He fell back off of him, kind of diamond that second turn. Well, I don't know if he's going to make the pass or not.
These guys have quite a bit of.
Still there, inside.
They have quite a bit of cushion behind them back to 4th place Jerry Nadeau.
Whoa, baby.
And Gordon can't loosen Junior up any worse than his own car is handling.
I don't think so. Here's Jeff now. He goes a little high. Now he's going to try to get the nose down off of 4 here, but he can't do it.
Ryan, if you can save it, if you'll go ahead and do it, okay?
If you can save fuel, was that to Ryan Newman?
I heard that.
Well, he's got a 2.5 second lead.
I guess the way some of their luck has been, they don't want to take any chances on anything. But yeah, when everybody was on pit road, that should have well put everybody in a window where there was not a problem. Unless they're questioning with the 2-tire stop, did they get it completely fueled?
Well, when you come in and you only do 2 tires, you know one thing can happen. You don't have time to get 2 cans of fuel in it.
Great battle here for 16th. Terry Labonte, Robbie Gordon, and Michael Waltrip have been going at it. And Labonte finally clears Gordon and Waltrip.
And here's just back on Ryan Newman for a second. If they told me with 7 or 8 laps to go that I needed to save fuel, I'd be saying, why did you wait so long to tell me?
We need to mention Jimmy Johnson down that cylinder. He has lost 2 more positions to Matt Kenseth.
Gordon got up under that time and rooted him. Just rooted him out of the way.
Side by side to 1. White flag last time around.
Boy, this is quite a battle for second place right here behind leader Ryan Newman.
Jeff's got him this time because he's got the inside line now. But that was a great battle down there in 3 and 4 to get him up out of the groove.
Well, Junior's not going to give up, though, Darrell. They're still side by side.
Well, we've seen these cars get loose off of turn 4 here, and the back end gets sucked out from under them.
Ryan Newman wins it. Did they touch? Yeah. And Junior holds off Gordon for second.
And you would look at these fans. You would think that Dale Earnhardt Jr. won the race, but boy, how about this group right here?
Second career victory for Ryan Newman. He jumps from 15th to 8th in the point standings and the first win for Dodge this year. All right, Ryan, don't save any fuel now. Light those things up.
Listen to that thing.
Well, he knows how to do a burnout.
Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Oh, this is not a good thing. He's out in the grass. Oh, that's cool. I love that.
Boy, meanwhile, while we're seeing him celebrate there, great.
All right, baby. It's one for the crew right here. Let me get over here where you are.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. moves up a spot in the NASCAR top 10 of the Winston Cup point standings. And Ryan Newman moves into the top 10.
Good runs for a lot of guys today.
Rocket Man Ryan Newman will be greeted in victory lane by Matt Yoakum.
And Penske in a Dodge goes to victory lane for the first time. Congratulations, Ryan.
I can tell you, it means as much to these guys as it does to me. You can hear them more than you'll hear me. Just a great effort for the entire Alltel Dodge team. Everybody back at Penske Racing. Big Joe, we're looking after you, bud. Just want to say hi to everybody. Thank you, everybody. And I told everybody this morning we were trying to turn the corner. I think we just did.